Mm, Good morning, everybody. Natalie coming to live. Spirit and coffee. Got my coffee here. Yum, yum, yum. mm, so lovely. Um, Good morning to those on Facebook who actually show up. Um, can't see you, so oops, there goes my phone. Hey, Poetic, how are you? um, but wanted to talk today about. So last night I had a really emotional thing happen, where I'm taking this class called Shamanic Traditions. We're talking about, what is a shaman? What does it mean to be a shaman? How do you walk through the world as a shaman? And I wanted to know the distinction between a shaman, medicine man, and all these things. So I asked my professor, I said, I don't really get it. What is the distinction? I'm getting, because it sounds the same to me. And really, it is the language, the words that we use, that shamans themselves are to a particular area and culture. And we've sort of just mainstreamed the name shaman. And I'm very, very careful about these things, right? Because I feel like they get watered down. I feel like everybody wants to be a shaman, not really understanding the truly deeply rooted um, sort of initiations that you have to go through as as a healer, as a shaman, as somebody who is wanting to heal the community, and what that even means. And so had a really powerful talk, and literally got emotional in my class, and I was like crying, and I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So kind of wanted to talk about that today. And I'm just going to be on Facebook Live for maybe 15 minutes, and then I'm going to see if I can have callers call in, because I really enjoyed yesterday doing a little bit of a live coaching session. So for those that are wanting coaching or want to call in after, please hang in there. We'll get to that. So we're sort of talking about the rise of the phoenix, and thinking about that, and what the initiation is. Initiation itself, right, is in shamanism back in the day, it was getting through a great illness and being able to function in the world. So in the Western mind, right, when people, the Eurocentric people, went out there into Siberia, Asia, and all that stuff, in Siberian culture, and they saw these people like going through convulsions and stuff, they thought they were sick. And so if we clinically looked at it, people would say they're schizophrenic, or they would name them, label them as all these things. And I asked, well, the difference. Well, the difference is that a shaman can exist in the world, but also go through these states of being and connect to the spirits, right? And be able to come back and live in the community. And so we were sort of talking about the distinction between the two. And we're asked to go back to our lineage, our history, and all that. And kind of looking at my history, and I'm thinking, wow, I don't know. I don't know where, really, I don't know anything about my ancestry. And we're supposed to be exploring this, and I'm going like, I don't know. I just know that I've always been a clan on my own. And I started to think about, native traditions and cultures, and how they have a clan. And I think that that's part of it, is that we're all looking for a clan, especially those who weren't brought into a culture where you have initiation, where you're able to be initiated into, right? That we don't sort of have that. And so some of us are just kind of loosey goosey, just out there trying to find our people. Like, what does that look like? How does it ground? And for me, I was so confused, growing up, and wondering, well, what is this initiation thing? When do I get my initiation into this something, right? And down the spiral, I went into the esoterics, spiritual alchemy, spirituality, because I've always had a connection to the divine, to God, right, since I was a child. And that for me was the most important thing, was that connection that I had to God, and not really letting anything guide me but God. Now, that's great. But what about our elders? Right? And that's really what triggered me. It's like, where are my elders? You know, I I sort of had guidance, right? And if you think about your own life, where was your guidance? Who were your elders? What allowed you to ground yourself into this space and place? Was there an initiation? Did someone, especially for women, did anybody tell you about menstruation? Or, if you guys have children, did anybody tell you about sex and having children and how to take care of yourself and all that? And I'm thinking, God, no, no one taught me. It was just kind of like, oh, well, there's this thing that happened. Oh, okay, well, do this. But there was never really like a lead up into that, right? A lead up into initiating us into here's what's going to happen. Here's how this is sacred. And that's the tradition's been lost, right? Yeah, I know, poetic, it's crazy. And so because of that, I feel individuals and people, right, are sort of looking for their clan. And I started to think, God, where's my clan? Like if we think, like I was raised in New Mexico, so there's Native Americans everywhere, and I'm sure I have some Native blood in me, but I haven't done it, gone back. But I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised with those kind of traditions, and I always loved how my friends were like, well, I'm from clan this, that, the other, and like they were raised by these traditional practices, and they have elders, and they could go to the elders for advice. And I was like, man, that system sounds amazing. Not necessarily my system. I had a grandmother, and I would say she was, because all my grandparents died before I was born. So, or except my grandpa, but he had a head injury. Oh, I'm sorry. This phone keeps falling. I'm going to have to do something better with it. I apologize. Those on Instagram. But my grandfather, like all my grandparents are gone. So did I have my elders to sort of guide me? And not necessarily. I had one grandmother, and she was Catholic. And so her guidance was pray the rosary, which was beautiful. I loved praying the rosary with her. I loved going to mass with her and stuff like that, because I had that connection to the divine through her. But there was this whole other piece that's missing. And when I got into tarot, right, when I got into spiritual alchemy and the tarot and the process of tarot, I didn't even realize that my grandmother on my dad's side read tarot until after he saw me with my cards, right? And so it was like this sense of like disconnect between generations of where's my clan? How come I couldn't have her to guide me through the practice of this, right? But, I could still talk to her, but still it's that clan, it's that connection, it's the upbringing, it's the ability for us to feel connected to something. And I think that especially in the Western world, we're sort of looking for that. I mean, the capitalist society of America has really kind of ripped families apart. It's ripped our rituals, our practices apart, that now we're like trying to say, well, where's the initiation? Where's that my people? Where's my tribe? That's what I'm saying. Where's my tribe? And me saying, how do I integrate this stream of the elder and initiation into the next generation of youth? Right? Because it's really about the youth now. And so for me, I'm like, wow, last night I was thinking, you know what? My clan is my family, right? That's my clan. And I'm going to do whatever I can to support them, whatever I can to help them out. And so they are my clan at this point. But just really thinking about the shaman practices. And I know that shamanism has become this really popularized thing. It's been popularized, and it, in a way, I feel like there's more to the story, right? When we become medicine people, it comes to us. We don't go to it. And there's this really big, intense journey that we go through, and we do it for the betterment of humanity. So part of it too is discovering your medicine. What is your medicine, right? What is your medicine that you're going to give back to the community, that you're going to support to the community, and give back to humanity? And so these deeper questions really brought me to tears, right? And then I started to think about the coaching call that I had yesterday online, and this individual, right, Laura, was her name, and going through this great transition, right? A transition that is so huge that internally can imagine what that individual's going through. They're trying to find their clan. Where's my space? Where are my people? Where are the ones that are going to, maybe accept me. And maybe the one person that accept me now is going to pass away. And now what do I have? Do I have a community of individuals I can go to, right? And so then we have some communities, right? They could go to the LBGT communities and stuff like that. But beyond that, it's having that place where we can connect to people and build a clan, right? And have these sort of, I don't want to say rules, but these spiritual principles that everybody kind of lives by. And they say, yes, we agree to this as a spiritual community. This is what we agree to. We agree that we're going to be authentic. We agree that we're going to be vulnerable. We agree that we're going to love and forgive. We agree, and then we have these things, and then we say, okay, now how do we teach the young ones how to go through the process of forgiveness and love and compassion, and then, right, initiate them into adulthood and puberty? I never got that. So I don't know if you guys did. And if you did, you can share with me. I would love to hear, because I think that's amazing if you did. I certainly didn't. No one told me anything. I was just like out there on my own. I didn't either. Yeah, it's crazy, right? It's like, did anybody really? And I think that we are now at a point where we're like, gosh, where I said yesterday, my professor, this is what brings me to tears, is where's my initiation? I mean, I've always been in the question of that. Have I gone through initiation? Have I been initiated? If I did, I think it was through God's right? Figuring shit out ourselves. I know. It's like, okay, you're 18, Western world, you're 18, go out on your own, figure it out. And you're like, wait, what? I have to buy soap. I have to buy tissue paper for myself. I didn't even know I had to do these things. That's kind of how it was when I got my first place. I was like, I called my mom and I'm like, I have to buy this stuff. She just laughs. She laughs at me, but she never taught me, right? She didn't know. Maybe she was never taught. I don't know what they said about sex back then. That's a huge part of our life, right? It's a part that we hush hush, don't say anything, and it's a bad thing. And instead of saying, okay, how do we have healthy relationships and healthy sexual relationships as adults, right? As we mature and we go through puberty, like you're going to have this menstruation thing, and we're going to help you understand what that is. And boys, your testosterone's you're going to wake up and you might have a thing happening in the morning or something. I don't think that it's talked about in our society. It's like, oh, don't say anything, and then just figure it out yourself. And, and then we're going like, wait, something must be wrong with me. How come this is happening to me? I wonder if it's happening. And then you're too embarrassed to ask, and there's no initiation, and we're just all trying to figure it out. And then they wonder why people are lost. It's like, well, hello, where's the clan? Where's the people helping us through the process? And I talk about this too because good morning, PPG. Good morning, Charlie. I talk about this too because, of course, I have a niece, and I'm trying to teach her about initiation and thinking maybe there's more that I can do and more that I can say to her and be authentic with her and let her feel comfortable with coming to me when it's about these things, right? If it's sexually related, if it's related to menstruation or just being a woman in general, like what does that mean, and then for men, how do they initiate? What is their initiation, and how do they bring themselves into manhood, right? Into being a man and us into being women. And what does that mean? How does that feel? What is the experience? How do we allow ourselves to go through the process of it? And so I really cried last night. And my professor said something very, very, it touched my heart. And I think hopefully you guys will take it with you, and maybe you guys can, try this out for yourself. But to give an offering, like what did our ancestors offer? And I love that. And I think I was like, wow, what did my ancestors offer? What did my elders offer as an offering, maybe to God or, to the people that have passed before us, right? We have like Dia de los Muertos. That's like a culturally for like the Mexican culture, right? That's how they do that ceremony for their people who have passed, or we know that the native cultures sometimes will leave food, or they'll leave this, or they'll sage, or whatever it is. And I thought, God, well, I wonder what my offering for my ancestors was. And maybe if I never know, maybe I can create an offering, right? Just to honor that we're part of that. We're part of that whole storyline that made us who we are. And that the past doesn't have to define who we are in the future, but it can sort of guide us, right? Because I always think, well, who do I go to if I have an issue? Like, who do I talk to? I've had to reach outside of my family, and they become my tribe. I know who I go to when I'm stuck. And that's really what I'm saying to you guys. Create a space where you can sort of create your own clan, the people that you can go to. If you're stuck, who do I go to? Like, do I have somebody that I can just talk to, or someone who can help me through this process, or whatever it is? And that becomes your clan. And we may not be in the same geographical locations anymore. I mean, life has made it really different where it's kind of spread out, or we may have busy schedules where we're not able to like live in the same community and all that. But still having that clan, having that support system, and then talking to your elders and your ancestors and saying, guide me, support me, right? And how does that play out into our life as a whole? So I thought it was beautiful. And what offerings can we give? And so last night I saged, I smudged my room, and I said grandma, and I said, I love you and thank you and stuff, and really cried because my grandmother on my dad's side is someone who I really wish that I would have known, because I think that I might have more of her in me, genetically than I even know, because I literally, I can relate. Thank you for bringing us forth. You're welcome, for sure. And so I think it's just beautiful, right? And so what are the offerings? I sage, I smudge. My grandmother, like I said, she read cards. My dad, he's Catholic, right? And he saw me reading cards, and I was like, oh my God, my dad's going to kill me, right? And he came in and he goes, wow, he goes, your grandma used to read cards. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, because Catholics and Christians think that it's evil, right? And so I'm like, oh, I was like, really? And he's like, yeah. She used to read cards and people would come. He said, like, even some of the politicians around the state would come to her. And I'm like, are you serious? Like, there's this whole thing I don't know about my grandmother. And I'm like, wow, I was drawn to tarot since I was a child. And I was kind of afraid to do it because I was scared they were going to call me evil and say these things about me. But there was this thing I was drawn to, and I wanted to understand it. I always had a deck of cards before I understood that the tarot, right, is the 52 playing deck card is based on tarot, and people don't know this, right? They're like, oh, tarot's evil, but I'll go to the casino. And I'm like, that's based on alchemy. The whole casino is based on alchemy. I don't know if people realize this, right? The cards are the minor arcana, and they've taken out the major arcana, which is bad because now you're not playing with the full deck. And that's where that saying comes from. You're not playing with the full deck of cards because you're missing the entire spiritual alchemic process of the spiritual transcendence, right? And so, but I always had like a fixation on cards. So I would play with cards all the time. I always had a deck of cards, and I didn't know why, but I always had this connection to cards. And then as I got older, I started to dive into tarot. And now my grandmother was a reader. And so now I'm going, wow, what an interesting. So how is that interconnected when we think about our elders? What are the parts of you that you don't even know? And how do you discover and dig deep into that? And I think that that's beautiful, and create your clan of individuals, right? Recreate it. We don't have to go back and say, well, I lost this. We can recreate it for ourselves. And that's sort of what I'm doing. How do I recreate this for my family now, here and now? And maybe introduce, right, these ceremonies or these rituals that we can do to sort of mature. It's just so that we can mature into the stages of life, right? And that we do it like in ease and grace, like gracefully. So we can gracefully mature into, right? instead of just trying to figure shit out, like you said, figure shit out on our own. Because boy, I have made so many mistakes like that. Like, whoa, girl. I mean, it's made for a rich life, but come on. I was like, somebody give me something. Um, so there you have it. Like I said, I want to keep these a little bit shorter on the. So I'm going to do some coaching calls for those who are going to stay on Podbean. Hopefully, we'll have some callers. See if we can get some interesting dialogue going. It could be about this or anything in your life. It doesn't matter. Just want to show you sort of what happens with coaching, and intuition. Yeah, sorry, like I have to scroll down. Sorry, but yes, intuition. So there you have it. Have a great Tuesday. Those are you on Instagram and Facebook. I'm going to stay on Podbean. If you guys ever want to join Podbean, it's Spirit and Coffee at podbean.com. Spiritandcoffee.podbean.com. There you go. And then you can just get on. And if you want a coaching, then there you go. We'll see how many callers. Maybe I'll take 1 or 2 today, depending on the time. Okay. So bye to those on Facebook and bye to Instagram. Go out and find your tribe and create your clan if you don't have one, okay? And remember, offerings to the elders and what can the elders provide you? Okay, love you, and I will see you guys soon. Okay, so staying on Podbean. Let me stop streaming here. Okay, awesome. So I'm on Podbean still. I rather enjoyed doing the live coaching. So I will take maybe a caller. I've got to gain confidence. Yeah, that's a big one. I think with life in general is the confidence. Like, how do we have the confidence to, and it's self-trust, right? And release my insecurities. I hope, yes. Yeah, it's it's hard because we've lived in a society where everything, is made wrong. Everything's materialism. What we can see, and we've sort of like let go of what we can feel, right? I get to on video put myself. Yes, I think I've encouraged a lot of people to get on video. A lot of the individuals that I've spoke with in the past, a good friend of mine, she still follows Spirit and Coffee. She still gets on, and I coached her a little bit, and then now she's doing her videos. Which is awesome. And a girl in my class. And, like I say, you got to start somewhere and just do it. Just be authentically you. I mean, that's what I do. I just get on here and be myself. Like, literally, it's like this is me, raw, real. I'm not here reading a script. I just kind of, sometimes I'm like, wow, what am I even going to talk about? And then I start talking, and of course it all comes out. If anybody wants to call in, please do coaching. We could do a coaching session if something's, you feel stuck somewhere, or you have. Okay, well, let's go here. Let's see if we have it. We're gonna, Mr. Coley. Good morning.
Hello.
Or after.
Good morning.
Or where are you at? First of all.
Hey, I am the first time on your show.
Oh,
So,
good.
Yeah, my name is Kohli.
Oh,
You
well,
see that, and I'm from India. Yeah,
you're from where?
I'm from India.
India. Yeah, we have a
Yeah,
lot of. I get a lot of Indian listeners. That's awesome. Where in India are you?
India from Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful scarves. I went to Kashmir and got scarves from there. That's what I remember. I think that's what I remember. Was it Kashmir?
Okay.
No. I don't know if it was Kashmir. It might have been Rajasthan. Never mind. I don't remember. Okay. So tell me, did you hear any of the discussion we had prior to getting on here? How much of the discussion did you hear?
I just came here. I jumped in your show right now. So then I heard that you were saying that if anybody wants to call in, just call in. And just, I did that. I don't know. So,
Okay, well, that's awesome. Thank you for being brave, and thank you for calling in. So tell me, we're talking about sort of shamanism, which I think derived originally from India. Everything comes from India, by the way. That's what I've noticed. Most of the myth stories, most of religious constructs, a lot of stuff comes from India. And I know that shamanism was sort of derived from India into Asia to Siberian cultures. And so we're just sort of talking about having your clan. So tell me, what is your religious background? Are you Muslim, Hindu, Buddhist, Christian?
Thank you. Thank you for asking. I'm Muslim.
Muslim.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
so, and the cool thing about India that I love is that everybody's sort of like, it's like this goulash. Do you know what goulash is?
Goulash. I don't know. Goulash.
Okay. Goulash is sort of like just a bunch of different things put together in a pot. So that's how I felt when I was in India. There's a lot of different religions and ways of viewing the world, and you guys all kind of just live together in this tight knit space. And so tell me culturally, um, tell me about your religion. Tell me, do you feel like you're part of a clan or a tribe with your religion? Like you have a sense of belonging?
Yeah. Uh, I'm actually, not person like that who really likes the religion, because religions, I think religions separate people from, each other. But, first of all, in India, you've seen that here, you know, here people live like Christians and Hindu, Muslims. There are so much, religions in India. So I'm not, giving the priority to the religion, because religions separate you from
Mm-hmm.
the from each other, and just be a man, just be a person, that is more important. So
Awesome.
first of all, I'm a human being, I'm a
Yeah.
human.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And after that, I have a religion, I don't know how to explain this. I just want to explain, you can understand. Yeah.
Oh, I totally understand it because that's the way I am. I don't identify as any religious. I call myself a spiritual alchemist, which opens up the gate for looking at the religions from a place of like, how can I benefit from the beauty of this particular text or myth or story or history? And then looking at it and saying, how does that apply to my life? How do I become a better person based on this information? And that's the beauty of all religious texts, is that they're, like you said, it separates, but if you really look at it and you look at the text, you start to see a commonality in all of them. And really it's saying love, right? Love, forgiveness, compassion, kindness, self-respect, look internally. I mean,
Mhm.
everything seems to be pointing to like you're human first. And I love what you said. You are human first. And as a human, how do we walk through the world? How do we engage with people in our relationships? What are your spiritual practices? Do you have practices that you do?
No, I don't have any practices, like, I don't believe in, in gods, in like that, because I only believe, in myself, because I am the only one person who came alone, who will go alone from this world.
Mm-hmm.
So, there are some peoples around me, my family, my friends. So these are the peoples that I have to take care of them, because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to waste my time in, in religion, in,
Mm-hmm.
you know, in praying, just because my mom, you know, that is trying to give me, uh, a beautiful life, and yeah, that's she's take care of me all the time, and my friend circle. And I don't believe in such, and people usually do that. they believe in gods and like that. And because I just want to say this, I'm the only one person, and my family, my friends, and these all are my gods.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
Yes,
your
yes,
family's
yes.
your clan, basically. And that's your that you're focused on your family and enriching the life and the experience through your family.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. I love that. Absolutely. And so when I asked about practices, I meant like not necessarily gods, but just like, do you meditate, or do you run, or do you work out, or do you sing, or like, what do you like? What do you enjoy doing, basically?
Okay, let me tell you one thing that I'm learning English from last 4 months ago. So I sometimes I don't understand what people say, but
Yeah, sure.
sometimes yeah. So I have a job.
Hmm.
So from morning to the evening, I do my job, and in the evening, uh, I'm not going to the gym. I just walk 5 or 6 kilometers in the evening, and so these are my routines that I'm doing because health is wealth, and I'm
Hmm.
working on myself and listening podcast and listening some best speakers and podcasts to learn English and talk with peoples. So I think I'm not making some kind of conversation between me and you because I'm not good at speaking right now. So I'm just trying myself to blend in with
No,
you.
I think you're doing absolutely wonderful. You're doing perfect. I think you're a little bit harder on yourself than you probably should be, but are not giving yourself enough credit. You're No, it's perfect. So it sounds to me like your body is your temple. So in the eyes of maybe the Western world, you would say your body is your church or your temple, or you're taking care of your health and your wealth. And I agree with you 100%. I believe that our body is the vehicle that was given to us, to nurture and take care of. And if we focus on that in our families, then we'll live a very beautiful, enriched life. So I think what you're saying is absolutely phenomenal and beautiful and very
Yeah,
simple. And I think that that's sort of what happens. People tend to live a very complex life when it can be very simple, right? Life can be very simple and easy. Um, but then sometimes it gets very complex for some individuals. And it sounds like you're living a beautiful life. Do you have
yes,
children?
thank you. No, I haven't married yet. I'm just 25 years old right
Oh,
now. So
okay, okay, good. So you're still young, and then maybe marriage later.
yeah, yeah.
I think things are changing in India. Are you a part of a family that does arranged marriages, or no?
Yeah, kinda.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know that that's kind of a touchy subject. I lived in India. I have a lot of friends in India, and I love India. It's one of my favorite places ever. And I love the culture, and I love the people. And the food.
Yeah. Because India has a very spicy food. Yeah,
Oh,
you
it's
can
so
say that.
good. We eat spicy here in New Mexico too, so I fit right in over there. What is let's just do this then. What is your favorite meal, Indian meal?
It's when it comes to favorite meal, I really like non-veg dishes. Like I like biryani. It's made from
Uh-huh. Okay.
biryani. Are you familiar with that
Oh yeah, of
biryani?
course. Yeah. Yes, I am. Go ahead. You could tell people what it is in case they're not. Go ahead.
Yeah, I sometime I made with myself. I make it, and sometime in the home. So biryani is really my favorite thing because I don't like to eat like burger and some junk food because I'm very health conscious and I don't drink coffee, and I don't take any drink and anything that contains sugar from last 10 years ago, and I don't you know uh, yeah. So I'm very health conscious on these things. I focus on my health. So from 10 years ago, so I'm working on my health, and it's very better and it's very good for me.
Yeah, and your English is really good. So I'm not 100% why you said you're working on your English, but your English sounds perfect to me.
Everyone, yeah, you're right. Everyone is saying me that you're speaking very well, but when it comes to my, I'm thinking that I'm just sometimes I fumble myself because I have some kind of you can say if I'm afraid inside me, so
Ah, got it.
I didn't. Yeah, yeah, that's why.
So trust yourself, right? Just trust yourself. You're doing a good job. You're brave enough to get on here and communicate. So, that's good. So you should be proud. So you should celebrate. I call it celebrate yourself.
Thank you
Celebrate.
so much.
Yeah, celebrate yourself. You know, Oftentimes we're a little too hard on ourselves and we forget how far we've come. But, your English sounds perfect to me. It really does. It's good. It really is. So don't be so hard on yourself. And biryani is rice with you eat it with chicken.
Yeah, yeah, chicken, and it's made from chicken and rice.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
and
it's
some Indian spices.
yes. So for those of you who haven't had biryani, please try it. It's delicious. Um, yes, and
Mhm.
so is there anything else you'd like to share?
Uh, I have so much to share, but I don't know how to explain that because I'm working on it. Yeah, my I have a very busy. I How can I say this? I got in depression in 2 years, and I learned something from that. That is very important. When I was far away from my family, I got in depression, and I just locked inside. I just locked myself inside the house, and from for 6 months. Then I realized, family and friends are the best, you know, you know, anti-depressions thing. That
Mm,
if you are, yeah, if you have your family and friends around, and they are with you, and everything would be different, and you won't get any depression, you won't get anything. And that's what I want to share now, because I just now I'm working on myself. Someday I when I would speak uh, very fluently. I will like to share each and everything with you. Right now, I don't know how to explain each and everything that I my experience that I have. Thank you. Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, I agree with you. That's what I was talking about earlier is finding your clan and have your clan. And those are the people that you can trust and go to, the people that you can engage with that can help you through the times that are dark and hard and even to have fun, right? Not just those times, but to go and enjoy
Yeah.
life and have fun and experience new things. So absolutely agree with you on that. And it sounds to me like you're very spiritually connected, in your practices. And that's what I was asking earlier. What are your practices? And the practices are that you take care of your health. You go to work, you spend time with your family, you spend time with your friends, those types of things. You take a walk, right? You walk, and those are your practices, right? You eat healthy. That's a practice. And that's honoring. What I hear is honoring your vessel. You're honoring your body, the vessel that was given to you, right? The vessel that was
Mm, right.
created for you. And there's nothing more beautiful than that. I'm the same way. I'm very conscious about what I do, and I detox from sugar as well. The only thing is, there's certain things that I still do because I'm human, not perfect. So
You're
I
right.
have my pleasures too. um, but mostly I cook all my food. I don't eat out, those types of things. So I totally agree with you. And, what a blessing. I'm glad that you came out of your depression, and that you found a way to overcome your depression.
Yeah.
And that's the
Yeah.
beauty of it, right? You helped yourself out of it, right? And some people don't know how to do that. So that's kind of why I wanted others to come on here, because you have a story that's just as valuable, right? That can maybe support others. And hopefully it touched the heart of some individuals that are still on here.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So,
It's a Yeah, it's all about mind game, you know. You are getting into depressions and you are overcoming and you're yeah. Everything, every universe on in tiny break.
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
what's your name?
My name
So,
is Natalie. My name.
thank you so much for having me here.
Oh, thank you
So,
for coming
encouraging
here.
myself to yeah,
Yes. Thank you for coming on and sharing and being brave.
yeah.
And
Thank
also,
you so much. I will do it every time. This is the time that you are doing your show.
yeah, I do it about 7:30. Sometimes it's all over the place. But I try to get here at 7:30 Mountain Standard Time, which I think is about 7:40 your time PM, something like that. I know it's like a 12-hour difference between you and I. So some about that time, yeah.
Yeah. So I will catch up you later. So now I'm
Yes.
getting a call from my friend.
Yes,
So
so
thank you so
you have
much.
a good evening, of
Yeah.
course. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you so much for having me here.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
So I followed you.
Awesome.
So in yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll go ahead and
Bye
disconnect.
bye. See ya.
Bye bye. Okay, so if anybody else, I'll take one more caller if one more caller wants to call in. If you guys have something that's going on or you just want to share, you have a story to share, whatever it is, you can call in, and then we can go through a process. This is a conversation with you. Yes, thank you for sharing. I love when people are brave and get on here and share. It's like it's hard to be authentic and vulnerable and open. It's harder than most think, right? We get on here and you listen to people. It's kind of like me. I'll get on here and I share my whole life, and that's just because the I've learned to be authentic and vulnerable. Not easy. Those are really hard processes to go through. Um, for yourself, and that's part of the alchemic spiritual process, right, is to go through the vulnerability and put yourself in there. And it's funny, it's not that I don't get nervous. I was taking this class, this course on facilitating online courses, and they were asking for volunteers, and I was like, I don't want to volunteer. And you would think I'd be the first one to volunteer because I've been doing these podcasts forever. I've been doing live videos for 3 years, and you think I'd be, but no, I'm human. Just like he said, we're human first. And sometimes those things creep up on us. And I'm like, oh, are they going to judge me? I'm not really good at it. Here, we'll have poetic call it. Yay. Connect. Here we go.
Good
Hello.
morning.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I am
Good.
doing good. So, again, my confidence about being in front of a camera is just messing with me so bad. So, I have so many people telling me you need to just get over it and do it. And I just keep holding myself back. And I know it's me, but how do I stop thinking about it, especially being Libra? Uh, sun and rising and a bunch of Libra in the chart. So that's like me. I think about shit.
Okay, so we'll start here. Okay, first of all, what do you think is holding you back? You said it's you.
Um,
What do you think it is? Dig a little bit deeper into that for me.
I know it comes from when I was a kid and just did not. I felt like everybody's eyes were on me because I was the chubby kid, or just always felt like I would, was in the spotlight when I didn't want to be, I guess. And I wasn't though. But I don't know. I just get that insecure feeling that, oh my gosh, all eyes are on me. And I don't know. I'm
And
fine on the podcast. Like I can talk all day. I could have callers on my pod and I could be fine. Get me on camera, I start feeling like my face is getting red and feel the sweat beads. And so I do poetry. You see poetic, right? I've gotten on the stage one time in my life, and people have told me I need to have books, I need to be on stage saying all my, I just don't have that. I don't know if it's confidence or if it's that courage or what it is to put myself out there in front of people.
tell me what the experience is for you. So let's just think about this. Like there's eyeballs looking at you. The feeling and sensation of eyes looking at you. What is the
It's
experience?
always critical. It's not a good, oh, look, they're looking at me. It's like, oh my God, they're going to look at me now.
Okay, and what's the feeling in the body? Where do you feel it in your body?
Um, Both the heart and the solar plexus.
Okay, what happens to the heart first?
Tight, heavy.
Okay, and then the solar plexus feel like what?
Not excited butterflies, but the nervous ones,
Okay, so you get nervous, your heart gets tight, and you constrict. How's your breathing?
So I don't know. My
Okay,
breath is probably not efficient when that happens.
because what I'm feeling or seeing or visualizing is your body contracts and it like closes in. Right. And so, because confidence, so here's the deal, and posture is critical for these kind of things. When
Right.
we're not confident and we close off, right? And we even put our hands in front of us, like, don't see me. You're like trying to
Shrug
hide
our
that.
shoulders and kind of go in a ball type.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Confidence, right? Think of a proud lion with their chest out, right? It's like,
Right.
here's my
Head
chest.
up, puffed out.
Right? And here's my mane, and look at me, rar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I would say is you may be able to start with some body practices first of all, right? Being comfortable in your own skin. What does that look like for you?
I honestly don't know.
Okay. And that's perfect. I love when we get to the I don't knows, because that's what's stopping you from moving forward. Anytime we don't have clarity in our life, when we get to the I don't know, that means that you're either stopping, you do know, and you don't want to admit what it is, or you're just pushing it off to the side so you don't have to deal with it, right? Because it's like, I don't know, but you do know. You do.
Right.
And so it's what's stopping you from really living into the I know, right? And it's okay. I don't ever, like, when we get to a point of I don't know, especially in coaching, I don't force people to go past that, because really it's about digging deep into figuring out, well, then what is it? What is
Right.
it? What for you is going to help you to be confident in your own skin? And it could be a powerful question that you live into for a while before you're like, oh, okay, I get it, or I want to share. Or you may be willing to share now. I don't know. That's up to you.
I don't know. Like I've battled weight issues my whole life.
Okay.
And so that could be part of it. And
Mhm.
just,
Okay.
I don't want to be on blast. Not that I don't want to be on blast. Again, I can talk to people forever, and the customer service jobs I've went to, or, on the podcast, or certain things. But then when I've got all the attention on me, I guess, or just see people watching me, that's the on stage thing is, I don't know why it gets to me.
So do you feel like they're judging the way you look?
Yes, judging the way I look, the way I act, what I'm saying, everything.
Okay.
And why I care what they think or how they're judging, I don't know, because I know that, my worst judge is myself. So maybe
Sure.
that's it.
Sure. So, and looking at it, like you said, you've struggled, with weight and stuff like this. And I'm going to just tell you, I relate to this. Okay. Um, so I
I mean,
understand.
we have so many things in common, our lives. It's ridiculous, but yeah, definitely.
So I too, I was, especially back, I think in the day, there was less chubby kid. Like now, American diet stuff, there's chunky kids everywhere. I mean,
Well, so it was not as accepted as it is now.
exactly,
Like, oh, girl, get
exactly.
it, you're working it, as
Mhm.
opposed to, oh, look at that fat girl over there
Yeah.
now. Look at Lizzo busting all out,
Yep.
and people are like, they
Mhm.
have something to look up to. Whereas back then, what did we look up to? All these skinny supermodels that were,
Yes.
sticks, and we're like, well, I'm never gonna be like that. My body doesn't even, my bone structure won't even allow that to happen.
Yeah. I totally get you 100%. And so I would say this, it's getting comfortable with your own skin. So, um, do you dress up?
So, okay, my friend keeps telling me I need to stop looking. Okay, listen, stop
Okay.
looking like a crack dealer, he tells me, because I'm always in hoodies and jeans. I just like to be comfortable. It's cold, it's winter. And I know this. I have some dressy clothes, but that's more summer stuff, I guess.
Okay,
But yeah, I need to get something so I can dress up and feel
Okay.
pretty, I guess.
Here's what I'm gonna have you do. This is like a homework for you, okay?
Okay.
And you don't do it. You don't have to do it in front of anybody. This is for you. This is
Okay.
not for a show to show everybody. This is so that you can build that confidence within you. Go out, get yourself an outfit, and do you live by yourself?
I have my kids, my boys.
You have your boys. Okay, that's fine. Do they ever have like time away or?
Like right now is I don't have the kids around time.
Okay, so when you don't have them around, go get yourself a nice outfit that you would just love and get dolled up, right? In your own, put on music and just be with you. Just be with
Right.
you, right? Even look at yourself in the mirror. There's been these exercises that we've had to do in the past when I was in leadership training.
I've
And
done some too. They're
yeah,
powerful.
yeah, where they're like, look at yourself and they get in the mirror, that kind of thing. And you're like, okay.
Right. And then you got to tell yourself that you are enough, or you are pretty, or that you are beautiful. And like, so when I first started doing these practices, I couldn't look at myself and not cry for a while,
Sure,
you know? As you
sure.
keep going along and gain that confidence, it's gotten easier. But you still see some things in yourself and it's not even physical. You see the energy and you start to feel the feelings as you're looking candidly at yourself, I guess.
So yes, and so part of that is really just, and it's accepting all of it, right? Again, spiritual
Right.
alchemy is not like, oh, let's pretend we don't like. If we don't like a part of our body, just say it. This part of my body is this, and I don't like it, and that's fine. Maybe I'll never like it, but it's part of me. It's part of who I am. It's a reminder of whatever. So it's not to get you to say, oh, I have to, there's parts of myself I still do that. I'm like, oh, why? Or this or that. And and then I have to remind myself, no, but I'm a powerful individual and I have so much to offer the world. And so part of it too is thinking who's missing out on what you have to offer as well. Like, who are you discrediting or disservicing or not allowing in the space to have a part of you that could be shared or that can maybe transform or benefit or support, right? So asking yourself those questions and being like, wow, is it about looks? No, we know it's not. We know it's not. It's about
Right.
confidence, right? That's what you said.
Confidence and that acceptance, I
Mhm.
guess. Yeah.
So tell me, what does confidence mean to you?
Not giving a care in the world to what anybody thinks about you or what you do.
Okay,
Just
so
living
now,
fully in your truth.
okay,
Not
say that
caring if
again.
they look at you, whatever.
So I'm going to interrupt. Say that me. Change the you to me. And give me your definition again using me instead of you. Go. Confidence is to me.
Confidence to me is when I don't care what anybody thinks about me, no matter if they look at me, what I do, think, say, or present myself as. Right? Something like
Did that feel different?
Yeah, it did. It does. I mean, it's powerful. And I know, see, and I have these conversations. I know so much of this, and I just, forget it or just dismiss it and think I don't know, get the ego wrapped up and like, I don't need that. I don't know. So when you're saying there, just when you were saying to call out your body part and, yes, this is how this looks, or this is whatever, that reminded me of tapping. Have you ever done tapping?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Emotional freedom technique.
Yeah.
That's what I thought of when you were saying that. Because even though my stomach is jiggly, I completely, deeply love and accept myself, right? That's something as you tap the little points.
Yes. So whatever practice arises for you, whatever feels good for you, do that, right? And dress up. And you don't have to, I mean, however you want to dress up, right? Whatever
Right.
feels good for you. You know, maybe it's still jeans, but it's a tighter top or, and some heels.
Right.
Or
Maybe not a hoodie, maybe, a girly something or other.
right, right. And then starting to look at posture too is a big thing. So ask yourself, how am I sitting? Am I closed off? Am I proud and open? Right. Am I holding my head up or am I putting my head down? How am I looking direct or am I sort of avoiding? Those types of things, right? It's really, and you, like you said, these things. And here's why I think it's powerful for coaches to have coaches is because we don't see the blind spots sometimes, right? We're so busy supporting others, we forget we need support.
Right.
That's really what happens. But when we're stuck and we know that we can't get past a point, that's when we reach out and say, you know what, I need support. I can't get past it. There's something there and it's not working, right? Because this is obviously something you want to do.
Right. It is. I mean, I know it's the next step to evolve and to grow in the business. And I mean, I've been doing the readings. I want to coach more. I've done a couple coaching sessions only, I want to evolve and I want to grow. And how are people going to be more trusting of me and have that confidence in me too, unless I put myself out there and show that I have that confidence in my education and my experience to help others.
Right. And it's digging deep within yourself. And you know that. And that's part of it. That's the spiritual process. That's what people don't get. That's why I'm glad you came on here, because I want people to understand this is not easy work. People are like, God, I love how you're so vulnerable. You just put yourself out there. I'm like, you know how long it took for me, what I had to go through to get to a place where I can actually be with people and in a non-judgmental way, because I've had trolls say awful things. And for me, it's like, I can let it roll off my shoulder because I'm confident in who I am. And I know what my intentions are, right? So I would say that do that with the body as one practice. Get very, very clear, right? On what that looks like for you, because there's this thing that, why am I not confident? And I think a lot of it is material, like the external, how I look, right? How people are, when their eyeballs are on me, they're judging me.
Right.
Why? Because I feel like I'm not worthy enough, or I feel like I don't look right. I don't look like the person I should, or whatever it is, right? And getting very honest with yourself.
Right.
And then once you break that barrier, now you can step into the other side of that.
Getting rid of all the limited beliefs that are actually holding
you back. Exactly. And you can practice as you evolve or move further, is you can practice, right? Practice in front of your boys. You trust them, you love them,
Yeah.
they see you every day. They're like, okay, you're gonna sit here and we're gonna go through this, and then maybe you evolve to just having a Zoom call with somebody, or maybe it's baby steps for you until you can
I don't feel like I can do the baby steps because the Libra in me will overthink
so
too
it's all in.
much and
It's all in.
continue to like push it off and like, oh, well, this is why this time I
Mhm.
can't. And this time I can't because, so like, I'm in a business mastermind. I've talked to several other podcasters as well on here and the friend of mine in person and about doing these videos. And I set a day for Saturday to do it and I didn't do it. There was
Okay.
other things going on that had happened that were unforeseeable that, kind of cut into the time. I could have made time. I admit that. It's just I got to get over my shit.
Okay, good. And now you're on here and we're gonna help you get over your shit.
There we go. We're going to do it. No, so I pulled the card today. My card of the day was talk to your angels. Instead of worrying, ask for divine guidance. And again, the tribe thing and finding your clan, and I totally resonate with all that. Growing up, my mom was young, 15, didn't really put that out there either, so I learned it on my own and still am looking for members of my clan. However, you see, as you grow and you step into yourself, you slowly meet the clan that you're supposed to know, even at a distance. And I feel you are part of mine, and Linga is part of ours. There's a few people on here. Taz, if you met Taz, you would resonate with her as well. But yeah, not
Yeah,
just not just at a distance, in person too. You meet certain people, and your clan slowly grows.
it does. It does. And you're right. And I think you have it in you. Again, you're confident, like you said, in your words. Now it's just in your body. How do you
Yeah.
find the confidence in your body? What is it? What does even confidence in your body feel like? Like it's just being in discovery of that. It's kind of like feeling around. Like, do I feel confident? Where do I feel confidence? How do I feel confidence? You're in the solar plexus. How do I feel confidence there? How do I change this feeling of butterflies that's nervous to excitement, which is the exact same experience, right? It's just the
It probably
mental
is just the same thing.
it
It's just I
is.
gotta push through it.
So chemically, it's the same thing. Your body does the exact same thing with the fear and all that nerves and butterflies as it does when you're excited on a roller coaster. It's the same feeling. It's the exact same sensations, but our mind, the construct in the mind tells us it's a different experience, and that's where the trick comes in. It's
Oh,
like
that makes
how
sense.
it becomes that. How do I view this? Oh, I can switch this, right? And that's where the alchemic process comes into confidence, and their practices. So whatever
That's that
practice.
whole shift, that whole energy shift that energy. And I know, again, you know this.
Yes, it's great knowing it, but practicing it becomes the hard part, right? That's the
Right.
part where we're like, shit, do I really have to practice it? Like, I can talk about it.
Yes, definitely.
How do I practice it? And so, somatic training. So, I would say when you do this, um, okay, so two postures that I want you to come up with. The posture of nerves, eyeballs are on me, I'm insecure. And then the posture into, so sort of I want you to do a practice of like arising into, almost like you're taking on this persona, right? Like this person, you're taking on this new way of being, this new essence. What does it feel like in the body? And allow yourself to transition between the two and see what it feels like to play between those two. If you're a Libra, you can find the balance between the two, right? The Libra says, oh, I can be, shy and insecure, but I can also find my balance into the confidence. What does that play on those two energies feel like for you? That's what I want you to do. And you can, and so be with it. And so a practice would be like the breath, when you're feeling insecure, thinking into it, and then saying, how do I practice into confidence? And play with those energies. And if you need some
So
work coming up with a practice or an exercise to do that, let me know. Go ahead.
So I did, as you're talking, like a little visualization
Mm-hmm.
type of meditation as the kind of like the flower that's coming out of the ground and all slumped over and frumpy. And as it grows and gets the sun and its nourishment, it grows and completely stands tall and confident and blooms out.
I
And
love
that's
that.
what I visualized as you were saying that. Or even,
Mhm.
and then you switch to the scales, the balance, the Libra. And so I seen the scales actually. And so having those kind of balance and come together.
Is it warm where you're at outside?
No, it's
Okay.
chilly. I mean, it doesn't snow, but it's not warm.
Are you an outdoorsy person? Do you like the outdoors?
Oh, I love it. I love being by the river. I'm up near Yosemite,
Oh,
like an
ooh.
hour and a half away in the foothills. So
Oh.
there's all kinds of mountains and everything. And with where I'm at, I can drive 2.5 hours to San Francisco. I can drive up to Tahoe. I can go, there's all kinds of places I can go from where I'm at. So
So here's the deal, and you could do this in your kitchen or practice or whatever. You talked about being this wilted thing, so do it. And if I don't know if you have sunshine or whatever, but so your feet, think of your feet as the scales, okay,
mhm.
and finding the balance in between the two, like really rooting in, grounding, finding the balance. Wilt up, and then allow yourself to open up as a flower, right? Allowing your chest to meet the sky and your arms to open up fully, to open up your heart, right? And
Right.
stand there proud and open. That's like the biggest, most vulnerable position that we can be in. It's scary in so many different ways because it says it's vulnerable, right? It's like anything can attack you. Or, if we were thinking primitive times, if you were open like that, you're not closed off, you're not guarded, you're not ready to fight. You're saying, whatever happens, happens, right? I'm open. Or I surrender. Even I surrender, right? I surrender. It's that surrender pose of like opening up, and it's vulnerable, it's authentic, and it allows people to see you fully. It's that full open body.
That
See me.
confidence that you will be okay.
Yep, that full open body. I'm here. This is me. I mean, you could do that naked if you wanted to do it in front of the mirror. That's even harder, right? Like, here
Right?
I am.
See it all.
See it all. Which
Hey,
is
more power.
vulnerable. It's vulnerable, right? It's a vulnerable position. So try that as a practice. See if that works for you.
Definitely.
And then I want you to report to me because getting past this is more important. You can put commitments on a paper and a by when, but it doesn't get to the core of why you're not doing it. What are you committed to, right? What are you more committed to? So your commitment wasn't there. Your commitment is to getting past this, right? Or getting over this hurdle, or through it, I should say.
Yeah.
Getting through this hurdle is really the lesson for you.
Right. Definitely.
This is your spiritual lesson. Once you get through your spiritual lesson, then it's like the divine comes in and says, okay, now let's put you on live.
You're putting that out there, so then let's do this.
and when you're ready to show your vulnerability completely, fully, wholly, boom, it'll all open up.
That's when what you put out there comes back to you, right?
Yep. So when you open your full self and vulnerable and open and confidence. So tell me, what are you hearing me saying? How do you feel?
Be open, be vulnerable, be confident. So I feel the energy already, shifting and vibrating at a higher frequency just with the conversation. And I know I hear it from other people, but sometimes again, you need that clan to, resonate on that certain frequency to push you into that as well.
Yeah.
And saying it in a different way, or just the different perspectives helps.
Yeah, and you owning it for you.
Yes.
You coming up with your practice. If the wilted flower thing doesn't work and the sun practice doesn't work, whatever that transition in your body, whatever practice comes up for you to transition between the two, it becomes your practice and it's uniquely yours.
Right. My little ritual.
Your ritual. Find your ritual into the practice of confidence.
Yes.
You ready to do it?
Yeah.
Awesome.
I got this.
and start there and commit to that. Start with that commitment first before going all the way full throttle.
Right. And letting the anxiety and nerves get to me before I even, yeah.
Yeah. And then report and let me know. You can send me an Instagram message like, I did the practice and what came up for you and how it benefited you, or, if you get stuck again.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you, Poetic, for getting on here. See, it happened naturally. It happened organically.
Right. Hey, everything's for a reason. And we're having our conversations and connecting. I sincerely feel we're as time evolves, we're going to work together in a few different ways. So we'll
I
see
would
what
love
happens.
to. I know. I love it. I love that you pull cards. I love that you read cards. And we're on the same journey. And perhaps you can come on my coaching, or come on a Spirit and Coffee and coach me.
Right. We'll do a back and forth session situation.
So people can realize that I make mistakes all the time.
Right. Me too. And, a lot of times I find when I'm coaching or reading for others, I am getting little morsels of information for myself as well.
I know you're like, I think this is about me more than them.
Right. I'm like, I think this is a message for me too, but this is what I'm getting. And they're like, you're so right. And then I'm like, okay, it's both of us. Yep, it's both of us.
We're all dealing with this together. So awesome.
Yes.
So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. I will talk to you soon, Natalie.
Sounds good. Thank you for calling in, Poetic.
All right.
Bye-bye. Okay, so thank you for everybody for sharing. Again, I'm going to keep doing this, and hopefully you guys have more chances to get on here and share your story, or go through a tiny snippet of a coaching session. If something's holding you back, please feel free to call in. I'm here to support you. That is what I'm here to do. I keep saying it, but now I think it's more interactive, and I kind of like that a lot better, to hear different perspectives, different ways of processing the world. Definitely loved, what Mr. Cole shared about, taking care of his body and his health and his nutrition and his tribe as his family, and focusing on that. And I think that's beautiful. And also what Poetic shared about confidence and reminding ourselves that we too can practice, what does it feel like to be confident in the body? What is our practice so that we can have the confidence to do what we need to do? And what does it look like for us? It looks uniquely different for everybody. The practice will be different. So go out and practice your confidence, people. If you want to go get some red lipstick, and for the guys, if you want to go get a cut off shirt or whatever it is you're going to do to feel confident in your body, do it. Love and light. And I will be seeing you probably not tomorrow. I'm not going to be on tomorrow because I'll be at Portland. I'm traveling to Portland. But I may get on just the podcast, Podbean, instead of doing the live videos for my vacation. So still maybe have some call-ins. Okay. So I love you guys. Have a great day, and I'll be seeing you soon. Bye-bye.